Good morning, Texoma, and thanks for joining us. This morning we are taking an inside look at Severe Weather Awareness Week, specifically our Skywarn 6 storm team, and we have a lot to get to this morning. So first of all, I want to introduce you to our well-known guest sitting here with me, of course, Chief Meteorologist Ken Johnson, and also Skywarn 6 Meteorologist John Cameron. So thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us. Absolutely.
And we are going to jump right in this morning. Tomorrow, timely enough, kicks off Severe Weather Awareness Week. And, you know, severe weather is going to be here before we know it. We've dealt with all this winter mess, and now it's time to start thinking about those thunderstorms, you know, possible tornadoes, which I hope we do not see here. But that's part of Texoma, right?
Well, you know, severe weather season comes during our wetter time of the year, and it certainly is a good thing, actually, to get severe weather now because we need the rain, and severe thunderstorms bring with it a lot of rain. So we will take the severe weather and take the risks that come with the severe weather to get the rain. You know, the chances of actually getting tornadic activity while it's with us probably not as good as what we need to get the rain. We need, in simpler terms, we need the rain.
Yeah.
We'll deal with the severe weather.
So don't stress about all that. Just be excited that it's this time of the year because this is when we need the rain to fill up those lake levels.
Yes, we do.
How timely is this week in general? I mean, is this a nationwide Severe Weather Awareness Week, a nationwide thing? Is this really for our area? Can you explain what that means?
Well, different weather services have different times that they do their Severe Weather Awareness Week. It just happens to be Severe Weather Awareness Week in this part of the country. Other parts of the country do it later on in the year as their severe weather season gets closer.
All right, so what can we expect to see, John, this week? What are we going to see differently in our newscast and maybe in the reports that you guys get?
Well, we've got we have some special presentations, if you will. We have some very special packages that we put together, some stories that really show you some in-depth stories concerning severe weather. You know, the severe weather season here in Texoma goes from about mid-March into mid-June, and there's new technology that's available to us here at the Skywarn 6 Weather Center. My goodness, we're going to talk about the future of forecasting, all kinds of good stuff, and really it just kind of adds a new dimension to the Severe Weather Awareness Week.
Well, something I know you definitely want to stay tuned this week, as always, as we jump in and we kick off this Awareness Week. And it's very timely because, you know, we're right smack in the middle of the Skywarn 6 Weather Roadshow. I know you've heard a lot about it if you've watched News Channel 6 at all. Every Thursday, you guys have been out in the community at a different location and going into, what year is this that y'all been hitting the road?
This would have to be the third year, I believe, since we started it. The first year we got started really small, and then over the last couple of years we've seen it grow some. So we're seeing it steadily grow, a great time and a great opportunity for kids and parents and families, regardless of whether or not you're a weather enthusiast or just someone who just is terrified of weather. It's good to come out. You learn a lot of great things about weather. You learn about what you need to do to keep yourself safe, your family safe. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people that don't know what to do when severe weather is a threat.
And I think that's such a good point you hit on because I know we've even had some emails on this, and living in this area, if you've heard about the 79 tornado, maybe some people have been a bit complacent, but others, they live in fear, you know, when you even say the word tornado or you say severe weather. So John, how important is coming out to a roadshow like this, maybe for those individuals?
Oh, it's very important. You know, we here in North Texas, we've been surviving thunderstorms for hundreds of years. And most thunderstorms are not going to do harm to anyone. As long as you're inside your home, you're going to be just fine. You just need to invest the 20, 30 minutes, let that thunderstorm pass. Everything's going to be just fine. But there are certain thunderstorms, whether they be tornadic thunderstorms, thunderstorms that can produce some very large hail. These are the type of thunderstorms that we need to take very seriously. And because of just how great meteorology is and the technology that goes along with it, we have the ability to warn you about these storms. And that's not a reason to panic. You should, you know, rest assured that we can provide the warning. You can set your plan into action and be just fine. Now, we know in the wake of the 79 tornado, there are a lot of folks out there, old and young alike, that they get kind of wound up, they get anxious, they get upset. when the skies start to darken. And I certainly understand that a lot of these people end up being weather people or meteorologists, so I can certainly understand that fear. And we as media people have to be very sensitive to those concerns. We need to, try not to sensationalize or dramatize anything, just get you the concise information that you need. You can have your plan and you can set your plan into action, take the necessary precautions, and just let what is likely just a strong thunderstorm pass on by.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Couldn't have said it any better myself.
And I love that because you talk about a plan, and that's what you go over at the road show, right? What to do, what to be on the lookout for. And part of that, Ken, includes a severe weather kit. And I know you're going to break that down for us and maybe what you need to have in those kits. Everyone needs to have one in their home, I understand, right?
Yeah, it's always a good idea to have one in your home. You never know when you may need something like that. Most of the time you're not going to need it, but there's occasions where the electricity goes out and you may need something to get by on. So we'll explain a little bit about that coming up.
Okay, better to have it and then hopefully never need it than not be prepared.
That's
so
right.
Well, stay with us, everyone. We need to take a quick break, but we have much more to get to, including a sneak peek at some of those stories that John was telling you about. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Inside Texoma. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we are taking an inside look at our Skywarn 6 storm team, and more specifically, Severe Weather Awareness Week and our Weather Roadshow that is preparing you, Texoma, for when or if severe weather should strike. Now, one of the things we were talking about was having a kit prepared, and I know if you've been watching Inside for a while, Ken, you did such a good job explaining this to us last year. We want you to do it again.
Let's explain it again. What we need is basically non-perishable items. The items that you can have that'll be around for a long time. That'd be canned foods like Spam. I know a lot of people don't like Spam,
yeah.
but that would be something good to have. Some Spam, maybe some bread, perhaps maybe some canned vegetables, and you also want to make sure you have that can opener so you can get those cans open.
Good advice.
Of course, you want that battery-operated flashlight, battery-operated radio, battery-operated TV if you have one of those. That is all good things to have, and always make sure you have that battery-operated NOAA weather radio. Those are what we really emphasize in being able to stay safe and get your warnings. Get them from that NOAA weather radio, and if you have electricity still, turn on the News Channel 6 so you can get all your latest weather information. John, what do you do in your weather kit?
Well, we've identified in our home, we've identified a safe spot because we don't have a storm shelter, we don't have a safe room, we don't have a basement. So we've identified a closet in our home in the central part of the location. We know that for anyone in our home who is dependent upon prescription medications, we also have to have that.
That's a good one to have.
Of course, I'm dependent on prescription
Right.
eyeglasses, and I certainly don't want to fumble around in debris and whatnot to go looking for glasses because that's going to complicate things even more. We, of course, have a battery-powered radio. Now we're in this era where people have phones and tablets and whatnot, so that's kind of a nice thing to have when you're not relying on electricity.
My, how times have changed.
Yeah, it's that type of thing. Just remember, you should, even though the chances are not very good at all that your home will be damaged, you should always take shelter assuming that could happen. And of course, you don't want to go to shelter in your PJs or stuff you want to be caught outdoors in. The last thing you want to do is go to shelter barefoot, because if your home were to become damaged, you certainly don't want to walk around in debris in bare feet. So bear that in mind. Again, the chances are slim that your home would ever be damaged to that extent, but if you're going to take shelter from a storm, you have to realize that it is a possibility. You should always be prepared for that.
That's true.
I think that's some great advice, John, and I remember both of you talking about this, so I'm glad you brought that up again. But you know, it never fails. It's the time where you're heading off to bed. It's 10 o'clock at night, and you hear that these guys are staying up all night, of course, looking out for you. But we are in our PJs. You don't have your shoes on. So do you recommend, and I remember one year we did this, and you know, without upsetting the children, just maybe stick some shoes wherever your shelter is that night. That way, if you have to slip them on, you have them there. Do you or putting them by your bed or something?
I've also often heard of people in their safe spot. There's spot that they've identified as a safe place in their home, maybe have football helmets, bicycle helmets, or batting helmets to protect the children's head, because that's ultimately what you want to protect the most is your head and your children's head, your family's head.
And most people have that, so that's a great and easy thing, of course, to do. Or if you know there's severe weather in the area, again, maybe grab those things and just put them in there, and then you'll feel relieved when you can put them back in the morning.
That's true.
So, well, all great advice. Another thing, you know, if you have a little one in diapers, maybe diapers are a good thing to go ahead and stack up in there.
And baby food too, and you know, and make sure you have your formula, and or if you use breast milk, make sure you have you know, you have some of that on standby.
Absolutely, important things.
Another thought here is if a storm hits your neighborhood and multiple houses are damaged, perhaps beyond recognition, you may be required by local law enforcement or the Red Cross to identify yourself as a member of that neighborhood.
Sure.
So you'll definitely want to have a picture ID, some way to attach yourself to your property in the event that your neighborhood is devastated.
And you know, and something else, so John brings up a good point. People ask us at the roadshow all the time, okay, I have a storm cellar, but am I supposed to register the storm cellar with somebody? And yes, you are. I know here in Wichita Falls, you register with it local to fire department. But if you know, you live out in the county somewhere, you probably want to contact your local emergency manager, your county emergency manager, and they can tell you exactly where it is that you need to go to register these things. That way, in case your house falls down, they know where to come looking for you at. So.
Yeah, that's important, because I have heard people say that, oh, I don't want to get trapped inside. But if you let people know, again, you're safe, and then they can come, of course, and find you. So great advice. And real quickly, you know, if maybe you are in a mobile home, I know this is such an important thing, because you always hear, don't try and find a safe spot in your mobile home. You need to get out, right?
Mobile homes are just death traps to be in. I've been to numerous tornado disasters in my career, and every time it's the mobile home parks are the ones that are hit the hardest. And that's when we see fatalities. It's typically in the mobile home parks. Those are the ones that are hit the hardest. Matter of fact, you know, I did a little piece on it here that airs at the road show. Went out to a local mobile home park, Vaughn Mobile Home Park here in Wichita Falls, and talked to them. They actually have a big tornado shelter.
Really? That's very interesting. Well, I know we're going to take a little look at that story right now. So if you head out to the road shows, again, these are just some of the stories you're going to see. But we're going to give you a sneak peek of that story right now.
Ready?
Michael Vaughn's family has owned Vaughn's Mobile Home Park in Wichita Falls since the early 1960s. He knows bad weather and mobile homes do not mix well together.
Just demolish everything.
That's something his mother was very afraid of.
And in '64, when they had the first tornado here, it jumped right over the house. And we had a little 8x8 in the backyard, and there was 65 of us in there.
Really?
And after that, she decided when we built a new house, we were going to have a big storm cellar. That way everybody in the whole park could come and have a place to be safe.
So they constructed a much larger storm cellar. It's still there today.
It's 10 by 28.
10 by 28. How many people can you fit down here?
We've had 80 in it before, and they were pretty comfortable.
When the weather gets bad, most get in.
Several people do. Some of them are really scared of, you know, weather. A lot of people are getting on up there in years, and they just don't like it. And every time it, you know, the sirens come on, they come down here.
Mobile homes are required to be tied down with at least 6 straps 2 feet into the ground and 2.5 metal strips all the way across. But this still does not make it a safe place.
It just demolished. I mean, it's unreal. There's nothing left. You know, if a 80 or 90 mile an hour wind hits tornado's head on, it's gone. You know, even if they're tied down. Like all of ours are all tied down, you know, by the code. But if enough wind hits it, it just demolishes them.
Not everybody living in a mobile home park has access to a storm shelter. That's why it's important they come up with their own plan.
John Schaffner has lived in a mobile home for the last 13 years and has rode out the storm before without getting to a safe place. He says it was no fun.
The worst thing was when they had it's kind of a gale wind that came through, and it knocked out all the windows that had some hail with it, and it come and just...
Did it rock your trailer any?
Yes.
But if the weather gets really bad, he does have a plan.
Pray. No, I'd probably try to get in the vehicle and go the opposite direction.
That's actually not the best idea, but better than staying inside. Here's what you should do if you live in a trailer or mobile home and don't have access to a storm cellar. Stay alert and keep up with all the latest forecast. Watch for tornadoes Form your plan early in the day before it gets bad and move to a more substantial building until the threat is over. If a substantial building is not close by and bad weather is quickly approached, then move to a ditch or low spot. A last resort, if there's enough time, would be to leave and drive away from the storm. We are always tracking severe weather day or night around the clock with our Skywarn 6 3D Vision radar. If the weather's going to be bad, we'll let you know several days in advance, so you will have plenty of time to prepare. Make sure you go to our website at newschannel6now.com or friend us on the Facebook page.
Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, an inside look at our Skywarn 6 Storm Team and Severe Weather Awareness Week. We just gave you a look at what to do if you're in a mobile home, of course, and there's severe weather. So, Ken, thank you for that inside look.
You're welcome.
And now, you know, after you've done all you can do at home, Texoma, that's when, of course, it's time to trust the experts, so to speak. And that's exactly what I know my family does. And you know, one of the neatest things is some of the equipment that you guys have and the advantages, of course, it gives Texoma whenever it comes to these storms and tracking them, and of course your knowledge that goes with that. But John, you actually did a story that people can see at the Weather Roadshow again, and it's about improvements. There's,
right.
You know, it grows. As technology grows, so does, of course, those advantages and the radar. So can you talk about that?
20 years ago, many of our viewers may have remembered the big buzzword when it comes to severe weather technology, and that was NEXRAD, known as Next Generation Radar. Hard to believe it's been 20 years since that fleet of radars was deployed from coast to coast to better detect potentially tornado-producing thunderstorms and just get a better eye, a better way to observe these thunderstorms. Well, we're now seeing in 2012, now 2013, but in 2012 we saw the biggest improvement and probably the costliest improvement both in the hardware and the software of radar to make it even better. I mean considerably better, and allows meteorologists, forecasters alike to see these storms and get a better idea of what's going on inside these storms. And of course that all flows down to the public. You get more precise warnings, you perhaps more timely warnings, and anytime we can cut down on the number of false alarms, that's better for everyone involved. And
absolutely.
That's what I'm going to tell you a little bit about.
Okay, well, another way that, of course, News Channel 6 and our Skywarn 6 Storm Team is looking out for you. Take a look.
It's called dual polarization or dual pol radar. It's a multi-million-dollar hardware and software improvement on the NEXRAD fleet that gives meteorologists a more revealing look inside the storm.
We're excited about it. It's the biggest change to the radar system since the 90s.
The new radar technology provides a more detailed sample of our atmosphere. To weather experts like Rick Smith of the National Weather Service, there's a year-round benefit.
As it is now, we look at reflectivity, and it's those colorful displays like you see on your broadcast. We know it's bouncing off of something, but it's unclear exactly what it is. With dual pol, we're getting a better sense or better information on what it could be. Is it hail? Is it rain? Is it bugs and dust flying around in the atmosphere?
The dual pol technology enables forecasters to more easily determine different precipitation types within the same thunderstorm or snowstorm.
Determining whether we're dealing with snow, sleet, freezing rain, hail, and also some of the hydrologic aspects, you know, the rainfall estimates.
When conventional Doppler radar sweeps the sky, the pulse of radio waves has a horizontal orientation. With dual polarization, the radar sends out a horizontally aligned pulse and a vertically aligned pulse.
Vertical component of that, so that's the dual polarization, the two parts now, gives us a much better cross-section of what's going on out there.
Greg Carbon, meteorologist with the Storm Prediction Center, says dual pol helps see hail in a thunderstorm.
And also for hail detection, and allows us to better understand what the hail size potential is of particular thunderstorms. So a whole new realm is opened up there.
As we get closer to the spring storm season, we're one big step closer to better identifying threatening thunderstorms and more precise severe weather warnings. Rick Smith reminds us, though, that we cannot place our whole faith in radar. It takes more than that.
It's still radar, and it still has its limitations, and we're still going to be relying on a partnership between us and lots of spotters and people out there watching to help us. That'll never go away.
John Cameron, Skywarn 6 Weather.
Thank you, John, for that. You know, we're talking about having a plan in place and how important that is. It's even more crucial, I understand, if you maybe have a physical need, then you really need to maybe allow extra time or have a plan in place. And that was something that meteorologist Lauren Gonzalez looked at. And we're going to take a special look at her story and some great insight that she found right now.
As winter turns to spring, we have to deal with large temperature swings and drastic weather shifts. People notice these changes.
Well, sometimes it bothers me because I hurt a lot because of the weather changes, because of my cerebral palsy.
Thunderstorms and tornadoes impact everyone. In the instance of severe weather, most Texomans know what to do.
Get to a closet and put as many things over my head as I can, and have some bottled water or some canned food in case I get trapped or something.
But people with disabilities or functional needs require extra planning before storms roll in.
If you're in a situation where you are a functional needs person, maybe you have a caregiver that normally takes care of you. And if you knew the weather was coming in, maybe you need to call that caregiver. You need to make sure that the people in your life are aware of where you are and what you need, and ask for help if you need it.
No matter the disability, everyone needs to have a plan.
I had a car wreck. I'm paralyzed from my L3 down, complete spinal cord injury. When the sirens go off where we live, then I'll go get my daughter and we'll go get in the cellar.
That's the biggest thing. Have a plan so that you know how to get out, where you need to go, what you need to do to take care of your family.
It's hard to judge one specific weather event over the other, but we work hard here at the Skywarn 6 Weather Center to bring you the latest updates so you and your families can get to safety. Lauren Gonzalez, Skywarn 6 Weather.
Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, tomorrow kicks off a very important week in Texoma. It is Severe Weather Awareness Week. You've seen a few of the previews, a few of the stories you're going to see on News Channel 6 and at our Weather Roadshow, but you know, that's just a taste, Texoma. You head out to the Roadshow, and we're going to get more into that and what else you can expect. But keep it tuned all week. They're going to keep you up to date with some important tips, life-saving tips, and always ways that they're looking out for your family. One of the ways that I think is really neat to fourth graders here in Texoma is called Weather in the Classroom. And I know we have some videos, some examples of that booklet, but can you each briefly just talk on this booklet and how important it is for this to end up in these kiddos' hands?
Well, it's a lot of really good weather information inside of these books. It's stuff that you're not going to get in your ordinary textbook when it comes to weather. It explains all kind of stuff, and it's, you know, on a fourth grade level to where they can understand it. So it's really good stuff. It has some good safety tips in there too. Just a really good learning tool for kids.
It's several pages too. When I first knew we were doing this, I was like, it's going to be 5 to 7 pages, but it's like a magazine.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's full color, a lot of great information. It's thorough, but it's not over anyone's head. And towards the back, there's a lot of cool activities, puzzles, crosswords, all kind of cool things.
If you have a fourth grader, make sure you ask them about that. If not, if maybe you have a third grader, look forward for that next year. Is it going to continue?
I think so. We got a lot of these magazines or these books still here at the station. So, you know, if we have some viewers out there that just want to come by and get one, I mean, I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem.
Okay. Well, then 3601 Seymour Highway is where we're located. Just make sure it's, of course, during our business hours, and hopefully you can pick one of those up as well. Now, another way you can pick up some pretty cool prizes is by heading to one of our Weather Roadshows. And we're going to wrap it up with that. I know we've been talking about it since the beginning, but there are still 4 shows, 4 stops left, right, Ken?
That's right. Our remaining shows on March the 7th, which will be this upcoming Thursday night, is in Quanah. We'll be out there. The show starts at 7. I'll be out there for that one. Alney is on March the 14th, and then that's the week after spring break. Also, the 21st is Vernon, and Vernon is actually one of our larger shows of the year. We usually have a lot of people that come out to that one, so if you're coming to the show in Vernon, get there early. We expect a huge turnout this year. And our last show wraps up right here on the 28th in Wichita Falls. So make sure you come out to eat at least one of these. We'll be in your area. Just a really great opportunity to not only meet us and see some really cool stuff, but also learn some interesting things as well and have a chance to win some neat prizes.
Yeah. And I love that because there are a lot of cool prizes. You guys have been giving away T-shirts. Yeah. I understand. What else, John? What else has been given away?
T-shirts. We give away a No Weather Radio, the smoke detector of Tornado Alley. We give one of those away to a lucky winner. And we do some Q&A and that type of stuff. And there's Super Radar too.
Yes.
You know, here in the Skywarn 6 Weather Center, we've got cutting edge technology. We've got a great group of experienced scientists. Why not have a mascot? Big dog, and he's a lot of fun to have your picture taken with. Fun for the kids.
Oh, a lot of fun for the kids. Yeah, bring your kids out there. This is a great family event. Have them take those pictures, upload them to our Facebook page. We love to see Super Radar with our kids in Texoma, so make sure you do that. And, of course, even get a picture taken with Ken, John, and Lauren as well. Well, guys, we really appreciate you taking time this morning. I want to ask you, though, when it comes to the road show, in case there's people watching, if you went maybe last year, the first year, there is new stuff.
Every year is something different. We never do the same show more than 1 year in a row. So, I mean, it's going to be something totally different from what you saw last year.
What is your favorite part maybe about being a part of this road show, the best part?
It seems like there's always something new to share. It seems like with every season that goes by, we learn something new, whether it be perhaps a new way to protect yourself during a strong storm, a new way that we're analyzing the weather, a new way that we're forecasting. The biggest value, though, is it's not just, you know, television is kind of a one-way thing. At the road show, you get to interact with us, and I feel that if you come out, you're interested, you've earned the right to offer up some feedback. Tell us what you like. Tell us if you like what you're seeing. You know, if you have some criticisms, we're all ears, and we'd love to hear it. Maybe it'd help us provide a better product for the viewers, so we're all for that.
Like criticism? Never.
No. Never heard of it.
There's nothing to criticize about these guys. They do a top-notch job. But 7 o'clock Thursday nights, it's an annual event, so make sure you don't miss out this year. Like he mentioned, lots of great prizes, information, giveaways, all kicking off each and every Thursday through the rest of this month. So perfect timing as we head into severe weather. When did you say it officially kicks off?
Well, you typically this month, March is usually when we start seeing severe weather, season creep back into the picture, but we really don't get into the teeth of it until over in April and May. That's our main severe weather season. So this is why we do it now, is to get you ready for the heart of our severe weather season, which is coming up.
Texas and Oklahoma has dealt with some very powerful winter storms so far this year. So I would imagine these will eventually become pretty powerful spring storms.
We'll get some, yes.
And we'll definitely need to be ready for them.
And if you'd like to learn more, you can always head to our website, newschannel6now.com. Make sure you head to the weather section and check it out. They also have Facebook. You can head there, always keeping up to date on storms. Follow us there for the very latest weather information as well. We hope you have a great day, everyone. We'll, of course, as always, see you back here next Sunday morning for another look inside Texoma.